What's up, everybody? It's Draymond Green. Make sure you subscribe to the Volumes YouTube channel below so you don't miss any more of this great content going forward. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Draymond Green Show. We are recording this Friday morning, which is obviously the morning after a 120 to 108 Dubs loss in game one of the finals. I'm here to talk all about it. You're here to listen to it. Let's get into it. Steph had 21 first quarter points, finished with 34. I absolutely love the way Steph came out firing. I think we can get to more of that as the game goes on. I thought we started standing quite a bit there, especially in the second half, which obviously made it. The easiest offense to guard is an offense that stands. And I thought we stood around a lot in the second half, which obviously makes things tougher on him. And so if we around him can continue to move more like we were in the first half and the third quarter, I think that will continue to open things up for him and allow him to do what he started off doing. I also I can't help but to think you come out guns blazing like that. You've heard the noise, you know the talk, and you're responding to that. When I look back at the game, I failed him because I didn't play well. And when he comes out guns blazing like that, playing the way he's playing, I have to make sure that I do my part to make sure that ends in a win. And so I know I have to play better. But the way Steph Curry got out to that start was very promising. And I think, we'll start to see more of that. And myself and other guys can help and make sure that continues. Al Horford, Marcus Smart, and this was the story of the game, by the way. Al Horford, Marcus Smart, and Derek White combined for 15 for 23 from three. Now, Al Horford's been shooting the lights out all playoffs. Marcus Smart has been shooting the ball extremely well in the playoffs too. Derek White hadn't shot the ball from three extremely well throughout the playoffs, nor historically over his career. What we do know is that he's capable. And obviously the world knows he's capable since watching the game last night. We've been knew he was capable. But some of the threes he hit last night, like the rim just had to be wide. I think three out of the 5 threes that he made was like right over people, right in his face. When things like that happen, you have to live with that. At the end of the day, something has to beat you. And you're going to pick in an NBA game what is more likely to not beat you. Jayson Tatum can beat you. Jaylen Brown can beat you. Jaylen Brown had a good game last night. But JT struggled a bit. Now, he struggled a bit from the field. 3 for 17 from the field, 12 points. But he did have 13 assists, which I think is a huge area of growth in his game. I think, when you would watch him in the past, if he had a 3 for 17 night, you lead that game like, man, he played like he had a rough night. You didn't leave last night's game saying he had a rough night. He had a rough shooting night, but not so much a rough night. Now, in saying that, obviously when you win, winning cures all. And so if he's 3 for 17 with 13 assists, obviously no one's singing the same tune of him not having a rough night if that game doesn't end in a win. It did end in a win, so you have to give him credit for the way he was distributing the ball. But then obviously that is a direct impact. A direct reflection of those guys making shots. Like they were knocking shots down. And it's also a direct reflection of Ime Udoka and the respect that he's commanded from this team and what he's taught his guys and how he's helped them grow. I think it's a direct reflection of that as well. And so what can we do to ensure that doesn't happen again? Well, I think, number one, a lot of our rotations were off. when you have dynamic drivers, guys that can put pressure on the rim, like a Jayson Tatum, like a Jaylen Brown, who put tons of pressure on the rim last night. You're going to be in some help situations, and with that being said, we have to make sure that our rotations are on point when we are going to help. And I don't think we did that very well last night. I can recall maybe 4 or 5 of them on my hand that just led to one pass out 3. And you have to make them make that extra pass. And so I think, in just watching the game, like, I was asked a question last night, like a lot of Al Horford's threes were wide open. Marcus Smart had a couple wide open ones. Peyton Pritchard had a couple wide open ones. And so if you can take those away, and all of a sudden those guys aren't shooting 15 for 23 from 3, they're combining for 7 for 16, 7 for 17, whatever. That doesn't necessarily kill you. But 15 for 23, it's hard to overcome that. I think they hit 21 threes on the night, 15 of them coming from 3 guys that are not their main three-point shooters. Another 2 coming from Peyton Pritchard. That's 17 of the 21 threes coming from guys that are not their main guys who's really putting the ball in the hole. Now, Marcus Smart has really stepped up his scoring here in the playoffs. And as I said, he had been shooting well. But again, as we all know, their 2 main guys that's putting the ball in the hole is JB and JT. And we did a great job on Jayson and making him take tough shots. But how do you get those other guys under control to where they're not having the impact that they had? Now, I leave this game saying, and I know what most people will leave this game saying. Most people will leave this game saying, Jayson Tatum struggled, he won't struggle like that again. The Warriors are in trouble, blah, 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 which I totally understand, and I'm totally fine with that narrative or whatever people are going to say, because ultimately that was earned. So you give them that. I personally leave that game saying, I won't play as bad as I played again, which will affect our team in a positive way. But more importantly, I leave that game saying, we stop the guys that we need to stop. Continue, playing the defense on their guys that we were playing, but stop the guys that we needed to stop. They won't shoot 15 they won't combine for 15 for 23 from 3 again. So you take that out the game, make a couple tweaks on the offensive end, and we're right back in business. And so I don't make too much of the loss. Obviously, you're down 0-1 at home. I don't think it's time to press a panic button. At the end of the day, it is the first to 4, not the first to 1, 2, or 3. And so we're not pressing no panic button. They played a good game. You have to give them credit. I thought we played pretty good or really good at times. But then I thought there were some things that we could really clean up. I thought on the offensive end, we can slow down a tad. When you're playing against a team that's pressuring, I think for the most part we handled it well, and then we got sped up. And so I thought, I think we can handle that a lot better. And I think we'll respond the right way. Now, have to go back to the film and see some of the things that hurt them on the offensive end for us, and then see the things that, worked for them, and how can we do those things better, and, what can we do differently in some of those spots. But I think for the most part, offensively, we just need to continue to ensure that we don't get stagnant. And at times when you are facing a defense that's switching a lot, you can they switch, and you can tend to slow down and once you slow down and you stop cutting and all these, then the offense just kind of stalls. And so that was, I think, our main issue on the offensive end. 14 turnovers for 23 points. This team reminds me a lot of the Spurs teams in the old, back in, not old days, I won't say old days, but the Spurs teams of the past where they don't make a ton of mistakes. And so because they don't make a ton of mistakes, they're going to make you beat them. And because of that, they just kind of stay within striking distance, as they did last night. And then all of a sudden, if they get hot, then you have a case like you had last night where in the fourth quarter, they just got hot. They didn't miss a shot for the first however many minutes of the fourth quarter, or at least that's what it felt like. And so can't let the offense stagnate, and then defensively, got to shut the water off. When a team go on a run, had to shut the water off. We didn't shut the water off last night, and they got it going. So I expect us to come out game 2 with even a better focus than we came out with in game 1. I thought game 1, our focus was good. Again, I think there are some things that we can clean up, but I think for the most part, our focus was good. Our intentions was good. We had 14 turnovers. 7 of those came in the second quarter. So you clean that up. You cut that to 4. So there are some things that we can clean up, and I know that we will clean up. And, we expect to 1-1, go to Boston. The way I view it is in a playoff series, you have to win a game on the road anyway. You're not just, we play 2 games at home, win those 2, go on the road, lose 2, come back, win 1. You have to win a road game anyway. So that's where we're at. We needed to win a road game anyway. In my playoff experience, we've always won a road game. It's no different now. You got to go win a game on the road. But first, we need to take care of home court, reestablish our home court. That's our first home court loss in these playoffs. So we need to reestablish our home court, which we will. I liked the energy in Chase Center last night. I thought the energy in there was amazing. And again, that's something that we have to capitalize on. And I have no doubt in my mind that we will capitalize on that.
You've probably heard of our official sponsor for the NBA Finals, FTX US. FTX has made a name in sports by being the Warriors' official cryptocurrency partner and working with the Miami Heat Stadium, the MLB, with the patch on each umpire, and the likes of Steph Curry, Tom Brady, and more. FTX US is one of the largest crypto companies in the US, trusted by millions of users, and is the easiest and safest place to buy and sell cryptocurrency, with fees up to 85% cheaper than competitors. They will also soon be launching stocks on their platform. Stay tuned for more updates from FTX right here on the channel during the finals, as they will be doing a giveaway for basketball fans. Download the app today and keep an eye out for announcements on the next episode.
This is Steph Curry. He's the MVP of cryptocurrency.
No.
But you are an expert, right?
Definitely not.
I'm not an expert, and I don't need to be. All I need is FTX. It's the place to learn about crypto.
I'm definitely making an NFT of this.
I have a question. You don't need to obviously reveal the specific tactical adjustments you guys are trying to make, but take us a little bit behind the curtain in the process. Like, is it you coming out of that game with things you already know you want to adjust? Are you watching film today? Are you watching film tomorrow? You're going to practice? Like, what's the process in individually you trying to make adjustments as well as the team as a collective?
I think that process for us is twofold. You have coaches watching film. You have or threefold, really. You have coaches watching film after the game. You have myself, Steph, Andre, who's probably watching the film on our own or leaving the game thinking, I think we need to do this. And so I walked out of the game thinking there are a couple things for certain that I know we could have done better, and that a couple adjustments for certain, offensively and defensively, that I know I think will help and that we could have done better. So now, what do? You take those things. We'll have film today. You take those things to the film room. Hey, these were some of my thoughts, some of the things we could get better. Now, at this point in the season, these are also conversations, sidebar conversations that myself, Steph, Clay, Andre. These are also sidebar conversations that we will be having with Coach Kerr on the side, as some of the things that we think can help. And that's where I always say here, it's a collaborative effort. We go to Coach with some of the things we think. He comes to us with some of the things he thinks. Ultimately, if we get to one place like, Coach, I think we should guard this like this, or I think and even more so on the defensive end, less on the offensive end, I think we should guard, this way, or blah, blah, blah. Normally, if it's not too far off the rail, he'll go with what we think, because he always says, it's important that we are comfortable in the game plan. And so if we want to do something, we saw something that we thought worked a little more, he'll usually go that way. And so that's kind of the process for us. You walk away from the game just knowing the things then you go watch the film. And sometimes some of those things that you walk away with aren't quite what the film shows. And so then it's this balance of like, all right, the film showed that, but that felt different on the floor. And you have that happens at times as well, of like, a coach could watch something on film and be like, this is what I saw on film. And I'm like, yeah, coach, I understand that, and I saw that same thing on film, but this is how it really felt out there. And then maybe you're somewhere in the middle of that, right? Or maybe you're all the way right or all the way left. But it's that's just kind of the nature of it. And so it's a breakdown over the next couple of days of really digging into the film. Then you watch the film over again. You catch something else that you didn't necessarily catch the last time. And so, this is a couple-day process. It's obviously that we have a couple days. If you only have one day, then that's what you have. But be that we have a couple days to let this digest, to figure it out, to make our adjustments and go into game two rolling, then you just start your process and you're watching the film and you're recalling plays that you can recall and you kind of move from there. So I'm not sure if that's how it is everywhere else. Obviously, I've only been here. But I know here it is a collaborative effort, and that's kind of the way that it goes. So that is my analysis on game one, my thoughts.